Welcome back to another edition of Our City. As March rolls in, the weather's getting warmer and lots of things going around the city of Elizabeth this week. On Friday at 10:30 in the morning, I'm going to join the 2010 Census Portrait of America Road Tour when it visits the city of Elizabeth. It's going to encourage the awareness of the census. You may have heard TV commercials, radio commercials, all about filling out the form which will arrive in your mailbox sometime between the middle of March and the end of March. It's important to fill out the census. Census 2010. Remember, representatives will be available to answer questions regarding the census and distribute giveaways. It will take place at the Jersey Gardens and Mall at the movie theater. So please keep the census in mind when it arrives in your mailbox. Fill it out. It dictates how much we get on federal and state dollars, how much we have, how many representatives we have in Congress. The census is an important document. On Saturday, March 13th at 9 o'clock, I'm going to attend the annual St. Patrick's Day Mass, which is co-hosted by the Thornsticks and the Ancient Order of Hibernians on Saturday morning at 9 o'clock in St. Patrick's. They will be honoring the Union County St. Patrick's Parade officials. This year's Grand Marshal, Sister Marion, who was on the show a couple of weeks ago. The Mass will be held at 215 Court Street in St. Patrick's Church. Following the Mass, the Union County St. Patrick's Day Parade will begin at noon. Actual step-off is 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and this year's Grand Marshal, Sister Marion Scranton, is well known for her outstanding work in education as a teacher and principal, for her ministry, her community outreach, and most of all, her volunteerism. Also that evening at 6:30, the Portuguese Instructive Social Club will have their 88th anniversary reception at the Portuguese Club on Route 1. This event will feature dinner, music, and a show for all to enjoy. If you need more information concerning these events or any other events, please call our Public Information Office at 820-4124. And I'm pleased to be joined on this week's show by the councilman representing the 2nd Ward in the city of Elizabeth, Councilman Nelson Gonzalez. Councilman, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mayor. It's a pleasure to be back on your show.
It's been a while since you and I have been together, but it's good to see you on the show again.
Yes, absolutely.
Now, one of the things, the 2nd Ward is an area that goes from the Goethals Bridge to the Elmora section in Bayway, and also covers St. Mary's High School and Baton, and it reaches into Peterstown as well as the Linden line. Tell us a little bit about, your efforts as you complete your first term. And what did you think it was going to be like? You've been in state government so long. What's it like being in local government?
Well, Mayor, first of all, I have to say it's a pleasure again to be back here on your show. And I need to thank once again, the residents of the 2nd Ward for having given me this opportunity to represent them on City Council in the city of Elizabeth. Because as you know, being a public servant is a very high honor and a privilege, to be able to do that. However, it's been a tremendous experience. I've really enjoyed getting out in the community, getting to really get to know the different neighborhoods and communities that exist in the 2nd Ward. I've learned a great deal during this time, and I believe we've also been able to accomplish a whole lot during this time as well.
Yeah, we're going to talk about some of those accomplishments and also what you look forward to in the future in the 2nd Ward. And did you think the 2nd Ward, Councilman, was going to be everything you thought it was, or more? What do you?
Yeah, well, what I can tell you is I think with the residents, surprisingly, they've been very welcoming. They've been very inviting to me as I've been to their homes, as we've had different meetings. One of the things I strove for and I talked about when I first ran was being accessible and being responsive to the needs of the community. And I've achieved that in a number of different ways. But one of the things I've had to do is organize myself well. Because as you know, we have to attend different events. We have a number of different meetings that we have to attend. And high on my list of priority is being responsive to the neighbors and to the issues and concerns that they have.
And Councilman, surprises during the first term at all?
I just can't say many surprises. What I can say is that I've really learned how diverse the 2nd Ward really is. When all the different, as you mentioned, from the Berg, to Bayway, to parts of Elmora, and I have a very diverse community. And I've learned that we have a lot of good people in the 2nd Ward. good people that are interested in what's going on, not only in the second ward and concerned about the second ward, but also interested in what's going on throughout the city as well.
And Councilman, the second ward that you've learned about and the things that you've figured out since you became a councilman, one of them is being accessible that you just mentioned. Right. How important is that?
That's, I can't emphasize that enough, Mayor. Doing that, responding to phone calls, or whether it's somebody I'm walking down the street and they pull me over, I take the time to talk to them, to address their concerns. If they call me, I try to get back to them within a day, as soon as possible as I can. And I have done other things like establish community groups and neighborhood meetings.
And we're going to talk about those neighborhood meetings, the block watch meetings, where in your ward they were really non-existent for many years. Yes. And, it was left to just call the council person on the phone and talk about the issues in the neighborhood. But you've gone out, expanded block watch groups,
yes,
have more block watch groups than ever before.
Right.
Why don't we talk about those block watch groups? Maybe we can start at the one in School 14, which is something
yes,
you've really cultivated.
Yes. Each year since I came into office, Mayor, each year I started a new neighborhood watch meeting. As you mentioned, School 14 over on Grove Street in Murray is one of the ones that I've begun. And again, I have 4 of them that I do. I do the one at School 14. I do the one over on Washington and South Street. I have another one over on Clarkson and Myrtle Street as well. And I have one that I do over on 3rd Avenue and Loomis Street. And these are 4. One of them, the one on Loomis and 3rd Avenue, was one that I expanded, that was existing already. And I participated in that one. Immediately when I found out that that one was going, I became a part of that group, and I attend those meetings regularly. And the other 3 each year, like I said, I started one each year because I think that's important, for the community to have an input, for the community to have a dialogue with their council person.
And sometimes the complaints are a little bit different, like School 14 may have issues regarding the neighborhood that you work on, yeah, or cleaning the park that you'll work on, where the one at St. Hedwig's may deal with traffic from the Goethals Bridge.
Yes, yes. No, absolutely. Each one, they have their own little nuances and issues, concerns. I mean, of course, there are some issues and concerns that are similar to all the neighborhoods, but they each have their own little different nuances, and we work hard together. This is, I believe in a team approach to this. I try to do as much as I can, but I understand, and working with the neighbors and the residents, they understand that I can't do it all alone, that I need their help. And together we formed this partnership, and we're a team. And we've been able to do, I think, a lot of things in the second ward.